keep our heat going today, just in case we lose it at some point in time. But we'll open it up. We'll go ahead and open it up for a public comment period. If anybody wants to make any comments, I'll give you 3 minutes to do so. All right, hearing none, if you would remind yourself you can mute yourself. I believe you can unmute yourself now. We have that availability. So if you don't mind doing that. I think Cindy sent me the minutes from last time, and I'm trying to access those now, sorry. Doesn't want to work for me this morning. All right, can we move on? Ronald, can you go ahead and give us an update from the state level?
Yes, ma'am. Just want to share with you guys a few things from the state. A few state funding opportunities. The department just released, sent out January 5th, for some requests for proposals. This is the formerly known as the Level 2, Level 3 funds. Since the passing of House Bill 593, that has now changed to intensive intervention services. They sent out 2 RFPs. One RFP was for problem sexual behavior. The deadline date on that is March the 5th. Also, a second RFP went out for just intervention services. And they have in the RFP, it has a number of targeted program types that the state is requesting bids on. And so if those agencies that are interested in responding to those RFPs, if they could just follow the instructions of those state RFP bids. It's very detailed. It even has data from the department in regards to all 100 counties. So if there's any agency that's interested in applying for those funds, please do so. This is separate monies than JCPC money. So it's a different pot of money. And that's why I referenced you guys to, it used to be called the Level 2, Level 3 funds, but now since passing of House Bill 593, it's Intensive Intervention Services funds. So probably what would happen is, I know you guys currently fund a program agency, Pinnacle Services, and you fund them for the Level 2, formerly Level 2 funds for home-based family counseling, as well as temporary shelter care. And this is where you have the county collaborative between District 19 on the 5-county collaborative. So what will probably happen in one of the requirements of this RFP is that any agency that applies for these funds are to get a letter of support from the JCPC. So you might be getting some requests from agencies requesting a letter of support for these RFPs, because that is a requirement from the state. Other thing I just want to share, this is for our JCPC programs. Just be mindful that we have third quarter counting quickly approaching. We will be releasing some information out from the state early March. There's about a week turnaround time as far as for our JCPC programs to submit their third quarter counting report back to the state office through NC Allies. Now, with the projection of third quarter counting, it says that programs should at least projected expenditures during that time frame should be around 68% of the program's budget should have at least been spent. If programs are, and it's really important for programs really to look at your budgets and make sure that you're in line with that projection. If there's a situation where, okay, you're just not going to feel like you're not going to be able to expend your budget or a certain portion of the budget, the JCPC, myself, we need to know so that we can kind of make some decisions locally as to what to do with that pot of money, whether to transfer it within the county to another JCPC program, or whether to revert it back to the state because just felt like we're not going to be able to use it. So again, just want to remind programs, if you hadn't already, really look at your budgets, be prepared for third quarter counting. If you need to do a budget revision, just keep in mind, you can do a budget revision anytime throughout the fiscal year, okay? That's why it's so important that for you to monitor your budget. Now, the deadline date that we have from the state as far as that we will accept a budget revision is June the 15th. So you have plenty of time to do a budget revision. So really look at your budget and make sure that those things are taken care of. That's all I have, Madam Chair, from the state.
Okay, that's a great transition. We actually have Ms. King here to talk about, she's requesting the letter of support again from our JCPC. Like Ronald was talking about, we do collaborate with some other counties to get that therapeutic placement for some children. So Ms. King, if you can just give a brief summary for our new JCPC members and then make your request.
Sure. So I'm here on behalf of Pinnacle Family Services as well as the Family Center Treatment Foundation. You guys have been very gracious to offer us a letter of support the last 4 years. We're requesting it again. This will be our 5th year doing this program. We'd run a combination program of family-centered treatment, which is an evidence-based in-home model that works with the whole family, as well as our Fostering Solutions crisis beds. So we get referrals that come to us only from the court counselors, and they immediately will get either family-centered treatment or the crisis bed services will start for them. Because one of the issues that some kids end up in detention is because we can't get mental health services started fast enough and they have some unmet needs there. So we have been starting these services through this grant, and while they're with us, they get a comprehensive clinical assessment that gets completed, and we begin FCT services with them and do a child and family team meeting that will allow us to know what the next steps need to be for them. It can run up to 30 days. We attempt to do the crisis bed for no more than 14 and family-centered treatment for 21, so that by then we will have done the CCA and can move them into whatever services they need to be delivered under a different funding source. So the main purpose of the program is to try to get services started for them timely, so that we can keep them out of detention, because some kids end up there just because they have some unmet needs that we need to get started on them quickly. So we are requesting the letter of support for this grant again, as you guys have been so gracious to give it to us in the past.
Okay,
That's
and
kind
Cindy, thank you, Ms. King. Cindy indicates that we do have a quorum. Any questions of Ms. King in regards to this grant support letter? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'm making a motion to approve.
All right, Tina Lester makes a motion to approve. Is there any second?
I'll second it.
And who is that? I'm sorry.
Brian Arrington.
Brian Arrington, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, hearing none, the motion approved. Ms. King, I'll get you your letter today. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, and so we'll turn it over. We do have a quorum now. We'll come back to the meeting minutes from last time. I believe Wendy emailed those out. Is there a motion on the minute?
I'll make a motion to accept
Right.
the minutes.
All right, Patrick O'Hara makes the motion.
I'll
Second,
second.
and that was Greg Patton. All right, Any discussion? All in favor, either raise your hand or say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion carries. The minutes are accepted. All right, let's jump to updates from the programs. We'll start with the STEP Center. Pamela's on this morning. Good morning. You want to give us a quick update?
I am going to try to share my screen again so we can get going with this. You'd think I'd be a pro at this by now, and I am not. Okay. All right, so we're just going to get right into it with our psychologicals. We had one referral that we will be completing actually this month for a sex offender that's going to be coming in. So we had one for there. Going into restitution, we had no new referrals. We've had no new admissions. We had one successful termination. With that termination, we had paid out some monies with that. So we are actually at $880.85 for that area. For teen court, we still have not received any new referrals, which obviously COVID is still affecting that. So we're hoping that, moving forward as vaccines get out and everybody kind of gets some treatment in there, we can move forward with this program. So we've still only served eight youth for that time. Our Step to Success program, we started the month with 11 students. We have received 6 new referrals. We admitted 2 children. We have terminated 1 child, and that was an unsuccessful termination, and that was due to probation. I believe the child's probation had ran out, and the family did not want to continue with those services. So that leaves us with an ending count of 12. Now with this program, I had sent out an email to everybody about expanding this program to allowing us to accept more children in the program. After speaking with Ronald yesterday, we can do that without needing to be voted, having a vote on that. So the 5 children that we have that are on the waiting list, we're actually going to start serving them this month. So that's good news for that program. Moving into the STEP Center, the art program, we received 3 new referrals for that. We're moving forward with it. We're still getting referrals. Some of the referrals are picking up in that area as well as the Botman area. Schools have recognized that the life skills are important right now, just also because the kids aren't in school and they're not dealing with, having a lot of social, emotional issues going on. So that program's actually being utilized within the school districts as well. Strengthening Families, we received 1 new referral for that, and we currently have nobody that's in that program. And Transition, we had 1 child that was in that program. We have not received any new referrals, so that child is actually still in there. And I always like to include the substance use class that we have that's going on, that we've been doing, and we've actually received 1 new referral for that program as well. And that is all I have for our programming update.
Okay, questions? David Wall's got a question. I think you can unmute yourself, David. I think they've changed the settings now.
Hi, can y'all hear me? Okay, thank you for that, Pam. Pam, at one point I was receiving the data for the program prior to the meeting from Cindy Heaton, and it allowed me to review it and digest it before the meeting. Is it possible for me to start getting this or the numbers before the meeting so I can review them and
Absolutely. We can get that. I can send that out to you. I can send it to I'll send it to Wendy prior to our meetings, and then she can forward it to everybody on the board so they can see it.
Anything else? Any other questions? All right, we'll turn it over to Boys and Girls Club for an update.
Thank you, everybody. This is Floyd Johnson with the Boys and Girls Clubs. Abby will go over our report in just a second. But I just want to take a moment to thank a few people. We had our monitoring visit last month, and during the monitoring, we were talking about an area we wanted to expand to was Ramseur and to serve down there. And wanted to thank Jody Terry for connecting us with some people down there. I went to the commissioners meeting that following or last month's meeting, and they're allowing us to use the town hall space to work from. So we're just working out.
Talking to you unless they just says, okay.
We have to do an MOU, and we're providing our certificate of insurance, but that's going to be happening very soon. So thank you, Jody, and thank you to monitoring committee. Also want to thank Ronald Tillman too for yesterday. We jumped on a call with him to talk about our term process. I wanted to make sure that we were doing the terms correctly, and it seems we are. So Ronald, thank you for the time to take with us and to do that with us at that point. And at this point, I will just turn it over to Abby to go over the report.
That sounds great. Thanks, Floyd. Good morning, everyone. I too want to repeat that. I have just been very gracious of everyone that has reached out and helped us just to grow in this area and be able to make those connections to serve more youth. And so I just really appreciate all the connections that have been made, and excited for this program going forward. So with the report, we had, in the month of January, we had 8 new admissions to the program. We terminated 1 client from the program that termed successful. Our ending count total served year to date is 29. We, again, as Floyd stated, the Positive Action Program takes place on Wednesdays, and we also do a virtual on Thursdays. And we are starting a new satellite site at the Ramseur Town Hall. We're really excited about this location because a lot of our referrals have been coming from that area, and we just see the need to serve that area, and potentially excited about serving other areas, as talked with Greg yesterday. So we're really excited to explore those opportunities. So we are, like I said, in the process of still educating the community about this program, talking to local school counselors and teachers just to get referrals to this program and let them know that we are a resource for their kids to come to at the Boys and Girls Club and the Positive Action Program. I would just ask you guys going forward, if there's any body that has interest, to please contact me and let me know. Of course, I have flyers that I can send out and you can share with your community programs and that sort. But other than that, I think those are the only updates I have going forward.
Okay, thank you, Abby and Floyd. Any questions?
I don't have a question for her. I just wanted to let everybody know David Wall's computer decided to reboot on its own. So that's why he got cut off and went black screen. So he came back in here for a minute to listen and let me know what's going on. He's getting set back up. But if anybody has any questions for him, he'll be back on shortly, hopefully.
The joys of state government. All right.
I take that back. He's back in my office. I'm going to flip the computer around to him so he can finish what he was saying.
Okay. You're breaking up, David.
data prior to the meeting. So if there was any questions, me and Pam could talk about time to digest exactly what we're referring and see if we need to take a look at our processes here. That's all. So Pam, could y'all send those to me prior to the meeting?
Yes, David, I'll make sure that they get out to you, okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions for Boys and Girls Club or Step Center?
You know, Lester, I just had a comment for Abby. She and I had talked yesterday. So I believe that she's going to be presenting to our staff on Wednesday coming up. So we're excited to have you guys do that and be in touch with you about the scheduling and all.
Yes, I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Tina, for setting that up.
Did you just put your email address in the chat so I can have that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions for the programs before we move on? Okay. I'm just going to quickly summarize the monitoring committee. We met following the last JCPC meeting. Tammy Bennett, Jody Terry, Greg Patton, myself, Hal Johnson, and Hope Haywood came in for a little bit. We were all part of that meeting. I don't think I forgot anyone. If I did, I'm sorry. And we reviewed the committee, or we reviewed the program information. We have made recommendations to approve the programs. We did request a consult with the area consultant, Ronald Tillman, for Boys and Girls Club, and that's simply because they're kind of a newer agency working with JCPC. We've got a lot of language that may be different from what they're used to, and just review some of their processes to make sure that they're all up to the state standards. I'm sure that they are. They've met with Ronald in the past to make sure everything's going well. And so we just appreciate Ronald reaching out to them and working with them just to make sure that we're serving the kids the best way we can as we move forward. Any other comments from any other monitoring committee members? Okay, all right. Tammy's shaking her head at me, so I think we're good. Okay, so that's the 10,000 feet version of it. But if you'd like more information, just reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to help you out with that. If you'd like to volunteer for the monitoring committee in the future, please let us know. Turning now to old business bylaws, we do need to update those. David Wall has done a great job working on that. I'm hoping to get those out to folks in the next month or two. They do, according to our old bylaws, need to be mailed to all the members, all the voting members. So if you're not sure if Wendy has your correct address, if you can please email her your correct address information, so that way we can get it out. Or if you'd prefer email, I'm sure that she'd let you do that. But according to our old bylaws, which I'm not really sure even when they were updated, but they do need to be mailed. So be looking for those. Any other old business that anyone can think of?
Madam Chair, if I may, can we get a board action on that monitoring report, just for the record?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a motion that we accept or is there a motion on the floor, I should say?
I'll make a motion, we accept it. I was there.
All right, thank you, Greg. Is there a second?
This is Megan Tarver. I can second that motion.
All right, thank you. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you. And we also, I forgot, got a handwritten list here. I apologize. We also need to go ahead and approve advertisements for the next year, and help me with this, Mr. Tillman. But we've got the RFP that needs to be advertised. Those are based on our risks and needs that you had gone over earlier.
Correct, Madam Chair, and I can share my screen just so everyone can see it. And then we can have you guys have any discussion about it. Can everyone see the screen? Okay. All right. So all right. So this is your RP, proposed RP, and again, this is just a draft. So if there's anything that you see that we need to change, today would be the time to do that. The anticipated amount of the allocation is $412,536. This includes the raised age monies. So that's already included in these dollars. There is a 30% match. That match can be in the form of cash or in kind or a combination of the two. Some language was added in this first section here to address counties that's doing 1 or 2, give you the option to do the 1 or 2 year funding cycle. That is something that was in the House Bill 593, giving JCPCs the options to do a 1 or 2 year funding cycle. So that's something, I guess, that we would need to vote on at a later time, just, what direction you guys want to go there.
I believe we actually voted on that last meeting.
Oh, okay.
And we decided to go with the 1 year.
Okay. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, so that was the language that was just added into the RP. So the RP program types that have been identified are as listed: restitution, community service, psychological assessment, sex offender specific evaluations, temporary shelter care, vocational development programs, independent living skills, parent-family skills, preferably strengthening families or any other evidence-based program model, social skills building programs, preferably in chronic or dealing with chronic or serious offenders, tutoring, academic enhancement with academic advocacy, structured day programs, teen court, after school programs, preferably interpersonal skill building, life skills, and experiential skill programs. So those are the program types that have been identified based on the risk and needs data that was shared with you guys and assessing the resources in your community. There are 4 domains on this RP that we would like for respondents or programs to address in their RP. Peer domains, one of the things, looking at our data, we do understand that juveniles that come to our juvenile justice system are more than likely rejected by their pro-social peers and sometimes associate with others that are involved in delinquent or criminal activity. As far as the individual domain, we understand that kids that come through our system have some substance abuse use and have some mental health needs that need further assessing or treatment, and also that youth that come to our system are at least 12 years or older when the first delinquent offense is alleged in the complaint. That's not to say that we can't serve kids younger than 12. Just be mindful of the data, that majority of kids that come through our system are at least 12 years old. So we just want to make sure that we serve that population. Also keeping in mind that because of raising the age, we now can serve kids up to the age 20 if they are still under the jurisdiction of the juvenile court, and based on the series of the offense. So just keep that in mind. Then family domain looks at parental supervision skills. So one of the things we saw in looking at your data was that parental supervision skills were considered marginal. And so there is a need for enhancement skills needed for, particularly for those court referred youth. And then school domain is the last domain. And with the kids that come through our system in Randolph County, they had moderate to serious school behavior problems. So what that meant was either they had excessive absence, unexcused absence from school, number of in-school, out-of-school suspensions, or they were potentially at risk of dropping out. So those are the 4 domains that we would like for programs or agencies that's responding to this RP to address in their proposal. There are 3 types of agencies that can apply for these state JCPC funds. One is a nonprofit organization with 501c3 status. 2 is any local public agency that would include any municipalities, county government, school systems could also apply. And then number 3, any local housing authority agency could also apply for these dollars as well. You would need, anyone applying for these funds would need to submit an online application through NC Allies, which is our database with DPS. And here's the link. If you are a nonprofit, there are other documents that would need to be uploaded and submitted with your proposal. One is the proof of the 501c3 notification letter. 2 is the DPS conflict of interest form. 3 is the no overdue tax debt. And then 4 is the nonprofit organization's conflict of interest policy. Make sure for those documents, particularly the DPS conflict of interest form and the no overdue tax debt form, that those forms are properly completed and signed by those that's authorized to sign, and make sure that the seal that is notarized and has a visible notary seal on it, please. And so with this RP, you guys just need to set a advertisement date and a deadline date. And the department just asked, you can go, we just asked that that between the advertisement date and the deadline date, that at least be a minimum of 30 days between those 2. So you can go well beyond 30 days, you just can't go less than 30 days as far as this RP. Are there any questions? All right, that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Ronald, I have one question.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned that school systems are also eligible for this.
Mm-hmm.
How do school systems know about this?
Well, the RP is advertised. Typically, I can't speak for, I guess, Randall, but a lot of times the RP is advertised either through the local newspaper, advertised through email distribution, through the JCPC board members, is advertised on sometimes what some counties own their county or city governmental access channel. So it's just different methods for how the advertisement is, how this RP is advertised.
Okay, but the JCPC will handle that.
Yes, ma'am. Typically, that is handled through JCPC,
okay,
the chair and the secretary. Yes, ma'am. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Suzanne, but I think they advertise in the Courier. Is that correct?
I'll verify that, but I know what we do is we post it on the county website each year so that it's out there for anybody to see and they can pull the application down there.
Okay. And maybe I misspoke, but also we have members from both Ashboro City School and Randolph County Schools on the JCPC. So
okay. I just want to make sure that they know. I mean, they may not.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure, just so that the board, is aware with these funds, they are geared towards our kids that are juvenile court kids. So I want to make sure that juvenile court kids are the priority. It's not a large pot of money, as you can see, and so we just want to make sure that our juvenile court kids are being served first. But we're always open for collaborations with other organizations. If they can add some additional monies to help support JCPC dollars, we are always in support of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions about that? I was looking, I don't know, Suzanne, if you think, correct me if I'm wrong, because we usually turn this over to you for advertisement, but February 26th, the last business day of the month. I don't know if we could get that in, but then set the deadline for March 31st. Would that work?
I think that'll be fine. That'll work.
Any motions in regards to the advertisement dates?
I'll make a motion. It usually just takes 3 days from the time they have 3 business days to when you turn it in. So yeah, we'll make a motion to proceed with the advertising.
Okay. All right. Is there a second?
Second.
And that was from
Kenny.
Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. All in favor, or any discussion? I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? All right, hearing none. Suzanne, I'll turn that over to you to take care of. Additionally, anything else on that? So we've taken care of those 2 things. The gang assessment, I know we talked about it last time. We did get that $30,000 grant from the state. I'm going to go in front of the county commissioners in March for their approval. Hint, hint to the county commissioners that are on this Zoom meeting. So we will move forward with that. I guess, Ronald, do we need to go ahead and set an advertising deadline for that as well, assuming that we get the money approved?
Yes, I would just wait. It would need to be after the approval of the Board of County Commissioners, just to be on the safe side.
Okay, so don't go ahead and make a motion contingent on the fact that we may get it. Okay. All right, so we'll wait till March on that. Any other new business from the council? All right, we do need to have elections for chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer coming up. I'm thinking let's just do that in May. If you're interested in serving in any of those positions, feel free to talk to myself or Greg or Wendy. It can be challenging at times, but also rewarding. I don't want anybody thinking I'm just taking over. So if you're interested in taking over as chair, please let me know. I'd be happy to step down and let you handle it. So just submit your names to Wendy, or if you want to come in May and suggest yourself or have somebody nominate you, happy to do that. Okay.
That goes for vice chair too.
I'd say Wendy, but she's off and she's so good, and she and Cindy make a great team. So we appreciate everything that they do. They probably do the bulk of the work getting minutes and everything out to you guys. And we just really appreciate all of that. But any other questions or concerns, comments?
Comment.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to share that three of our court counselors here in District 19, 2 in Asheboro, 1 in Moore County, has been awarded the American Probation and Parole Association in partnership with the Annie E. Casey Foundation, a juvenile justice scholarship. This would not be possible without Sarah Lanier. She forwarded this information on to me, and this is a competitive scholarship, so we're very, very proud of our team here. They will be taking classes with the topics of probation transformation, incentives and case development plans, reducing racial and ethical disparities, judicial confinement and release decisions, and juvenile probation wraparound, family engagement, and diversion re-imaged. We're very proud, and thank you, sir, for letting us know about this.
That makes me very happy. That's the first I heard. Well, congratulations, everybody. That's really exciting. I got a grant to do Annie E. Casey Foundation program as a parent attorney working in DSS, and their programs are top notch and very beneficial. So I look forward to what they can bring to the courts. So, anything else? All right. Hearing none, we stand adjourned. We'll come back at our March meeting. Thank you all.